I was 15, my dad was a wrestler, and when we moved to Reno, he convinced me to try a class at Ken Shamrock's gym. My dad, being a huge fan of MMA, wanted to meet Ken, of course, so went there, tried a class, and instantly just fell in love with it. You know, of course you get nervous. I had never been in street fights or fights at my gym, so of course you get nervous. I'm gonna go in and punch somebody, but it felt amazing. Yes, I'm the only I'm the only female on Team Alpha Male. Yeah, you know, he put me in great hands. He made sure I was 100% situated and prepared for this fight before he left for the Ultimate Fighter. And I did most of my last camp with Martin Kampman, and this fight I did with Martin Kampman. I haven't had a lot of common factors in any fight. Every fight has been different for me. There's been a lot of change, so I'm used to things changing, and you just kind of it has been new, but you know, I was a dancer and I wanted to be a model when I was a kid and an actress, so I'm used to being in front of cameras. It makes me really comfortable. I always wanted to achieve great things, so this is just a small step towards that. I think the people who see this as a step down don't know a lot about women's MMA or the strawweight division. They don't realize how new of a division this is, and of course you have rankings because you have to. And the rankings are not accurate whatsoever, and I don't think we'll see an accurate ranking system for another 2 years. A few at the top I see them to continue to stay at the top, but as for the maybe 2 or 3, I don't see these rankings accurate whatsoever. You know, I'm not going to underestimate her in any area, but I do know her strengths are in jiu-jitsu, and she has a background in karate and a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. So, of course, I anticipate her being strong in those areas, but I know she's probably improved since her last fight, and so have I. Of course, you know, you get questions asked about anyone in your division. They're obviously all potential opponents, so you feel a certain way about them because they are a potential opponent. But as far as being champion of our division, I think she's a great representation to the strawweights. Yeah, I think if you just watch our fights, watch our appearance, watch us in media, watch everything about me and her, we're completely different. We're different people, and that's good. I mean, she's amazing, and of course I want to follow in her footsteps. I want to have those same opportunities that she's been given, but I'm going to do it on my own time and my own path. A little bit of both. No, there's no timeline for that. The only thing I'm focused on is beating Alex Chambers. Of course, you know, every fighter in my division is a potential opponent, and I'm going to face Alex Chambers, beat her, and then look for my next opponent. Of course, you know, she's my one loss. That's just definitely something I would like to avenge, and we'll see if the UFC makes that matchup. That was my 3rd fight ever in my entire life. I was 18 years old. So obviously a lot has changed. I'm at a real camp. I train with real fighters. I don't train with a bunch of people who just go in there and spar. I'm at a camp with real fighters, and absolutely everything has changed around me. I actually know what I'm doing now instead of just going in the cage on a wing and a prayer. I don't know if that's an advantage. I mean, some people feed off of their emotions, but for me, I'm just a happy person, and being in the cage is a blessing for me. And the fact that I'm able to do this is a blessing, so I just go in there happy because I enjoy every second of it. No predictions whatsoever. I'm going to win my fight and then go celebrate with my family. Yeah, of course, you know, there's a lot of really good fights on this card, and especially if you're an MMA fan, a real MMA fan, you're going to love this card, and obviously the title fight, that's going to be a big one. Of course, I look at we both have a common opponent. We both finished our opponent in the same round. So I definitely take that into account, and I looked at that fight and I realized Alex is very tough and she does not give up. So that's something that I definitely look towards. I know that now. I definitely don't get nervous with the media attention and stuff. I mean, right now I just be in the gym training, so there is certain changes I have to accommodate to. I had to train yesterday instead of doing a morning practice this morning because I've been with media. So you just adjust training schedules, but other than that, it's just part of what I do. No, it's not a distraction for me, and it really gets me. I mean, I get to talk about my opponent, I get to talk about that fight, so I get to play the fight over and over again in my head, just speaking with you, and I get to look at other things that I didn't really necessarily think about until now. So I think it gets me ready for the fight.